Well, the car is done, and I drove it. What's next? Well, I'm just gonna roll around in this chair because I'm pretty tired. Pretty exhausted from been working a lot lately. Had some side projects I've been doing. I got another side project outside. Basically trying to get money together to get a trailer so I can run this thing at a lot more events next year. Did buy a truck. Hopefully I'll have that home next week sometime, and we can go through that with you guys. But the car. So how is the car? Car's great. This thing works better than I ever thought it would. Like, for being straight out the gate, you know, we did our shakedown day about a month and a half ago. Might have been 2 months ago at this point. I'm really not too sure, but we did our shakedown day, and shakedown day went pretty good. A couple little issues we had to fix. We fixed them. Those issues didn't pop back up at the track. We went to M1 to run the car, and I just had an eyeball alignment on the front end, and it was driving like it had a ton of toe out, which I'm pretty sure it still does. So it needs a proper alignment, and then I think the steering and all that will be pretty spot on to where it needs to be. Oh, I gotta be careful. Can't really do that symbol anymore. The internet sucks. Anyways, everything feels really, really good on the car. Obviously, I'm just getting used to driving this, so we're gonna have to make adjustments, play around with it, play with shock valving, play with different spring rates, see how I like the car, change sway bar stiffness, stuff like that, and just play with it, get it dialed in. It's gonna be a learning experience, but from the straight out the gate, starting with this car, I mean, this thing just rips, and I'm super satisfied with it. Now, issues, changes, things we need to fix on this car in the off season. First of all, I really, really want to go to a standalone on this. I want to go to a Haltech system and be able to have more tuning capability with the vehicle. If you guys watched the video of at M1 Concourse, you'll know that the drive-by wire system malfunctioned on this after it caught in a rainstorm. So, good thing about a Haltech, you can wire any throttle pedal into the vehicle. As we're with the stock factory GM PCM, you have to use the throttle pedal that is designed for that PCM. Those are not water resistant, as I have found out. That, and I've had plenty of those drive-by wire pedals fail because they are just not that good in general. So with a Haltech, I can run a watertight throttle pedal for it out of like a ATV or something like that. I don't remember what part exactly I was told to get, but they work really well. I think they're like some type of ATV vehicle or something like that, but they work really well, and I'll be able to switch over to that and not have that issue anymore. Another thing I really want to change on this car are the rear fans. So on the first test day we did, I thought this cooling system was just like spot on perfect. I never got over like 190, I think, while we were on track. When we went to M1, it took a while to get hot. The hottest it ever got on track was 130, which for an Iron Block LS isn't shit. I mean, that's super safe. Operating temp on these motors is like 211. Did I just say 130 or 230? Oh, God. The hottest it got on track was 230. You know, operating temp on these motors is usually like 211 stock thermostats. I know that's what it is on Corvettes, so 230 really isn't that hot. Now, I'd send the car if it was at like 200, 210. By the time I got finished with the run, which were really, really long runs on M1, the car would be around 230. As long as it was at 230, I'd let it sit and cool down. It would cool back down to 190 within like 2 minutes of just sitting there. So cooling system works really well, but I do want to change the rear fans out with some good Spall fans, because right now I just have these $14 Amazon Special Boys on there that are rated for 2,500 CFM a piece, which is a crock of shit because the fans only pull like 10 amps each. If they're 2,500 CFM fans, they're going to be pulling closer to 30 amps a piece. Yeah, so they're definitely not 2,500 CFM fans. So I'm probably going to get some nice Spall fans back there that are rated for like 2,000 CFM a piece. They're kind of pricey, 160 bucks a pop. So I'll be like $320 in the fans in the back of it. It's really not that big of a deal if it keeps the motor cool though. Another thing I really want to swap out, I just don't know if I'm going to have the funds to do it in the off season, is the fuel cell. Now that is not a bladdered fuel cell, so if I want to ever compete in anything over a Pro-Am level with this car, that needs to be a bladdered fuel cell. I even need to check some series that I'm going to run in next year to see if that is even legal. So a good bladdered fuel cell goes a long way. Now I've had that thing laying around for years, never had an issue with it, but that doesn't mean it can't become an issue. So it's something I should take care of as soon as possible. Another thing I need to get off this car as soon as possible, these boys. Those cheap ass eBay wastegates that I bought for this. I know a lot of people are wondering, like, why the fuck would you put those on your car? You spent so much time making this thing nice and putting like good parts on it. Why would you run eBay wastegates? And that really just came down to the fact that before my first event, I had about $1,200 to my name. I had to buy tires. I had to buy fuel, travel costs, everything like that to get to the track. Tires get expensive, so that was about, $800 I dropped on tires, and didn't leave me much money left for fuel, and the only thing I needed were wastegates, so I just bought these $50 boys to get it tuned and get it to the track. And I mean, they're not good. They leak at idle. I mean, the only good thing about them is they haven't not opened yet, so they have been opening. I don't know if they close all the way though, because I can, even when I'm on decel, I can see smoke coming out of here, like exhaust smoke coming out, and even the machining on them is pretty bad. So we're gonna take care of that, get those off the car as soon as possible as well. Probably get some good tile wastegates on there or something like that. Another thing I know I'm not gonna have the money to fix or change anytime soon is gonna be the gearbox. As much as I would like to put a dog box in this car, there's just no way I'm gonna have the funds to do that anytime soon. This transmission has actually been in my car, in all of my drift cars. Like, this is the same T56 that was in my GTO when I bought it from the dealer. Now that thing was in my car as a street car when I daily drove it for up until 2012, and then it's seen naturally aspirated drifting from 2012 to 2013, and then in 2013 I put nitrous on it. Ran nitrous 2013 to 2014, and then in 14, 15, 16 the car was turboed, and then in 17 I wrecked it, pulled the trans out, and then put the trans in my turbo RX-7, and then pulled it out of there, and now it's in this car. So this transmission has seen some shit, and it's still together somehow. I really don't know how people break T56s when I've had this thing for so long. I mean, I guess one thing that I do is I don't run super heavy clutches in my cars. I kind of use my clutch as a failure point in front of the transmission, so the clutch is a really good, well-rated clutch. It's never slipped on me. It's never done anything that kind of would even make me ever question it. But I just kind of don't want to run like super high pressure plates or anything like that. So the pressure plate's pretty soft. It's a twin disc. It is a South Bend twin disc in there, which, it's just awesome. But I don't know. I can't explain it. Maybe I just got some fluke transmission. Who knows? But yeah, I can't afford a dog box, so that's probably going to be staying in there for another year. And I'm sure some of you guys might have seen the shit show that unfolded on Facebook about my ATR Sport 2 tires falling apart. So there's one of my boys after about a lap. And then you can see this one D-lam, this one D-lam. I think the D-lam on this one's on the other side, but this one hit chunk too. Now these Kendas that I ran didn't D-lam at all. And then this one set of ATR Sport 2s did not D-lam. Now I'm pretty sure the reason these ones did not D-lam is because I went out on track with these Kendas right here, did 2 laps on those, pulled into the pit, swapped tires, put these ones on there, and then by the time I got back out on track, track was going cold, so I had to exit track that lap, which meant I could only drift like 2 corners of the track. So I think what happened is I drifted the 2 corners, not even a full lap, and tires got hot. Then they sat all night long, so they basically got heat cycled. And then when I ran them the next day, I was able to put about 4 laps on them and basically just wear them down to cords, and they didn't chunk up. So if you heat cycle these tires, yes, they can last. That doesn't mean it's a good tire though. Okay? A lot of people are saying, oh, you can only run these tires last forever if you heat cycle them, if you only run them at 20 psi, if you run them backwards, and like naming all this stuff to try to justify how to make these tires last. But if you have to go through all that work to make a tire last, it's not the best tire for drifting. At least not in something like this. You know, maybe in a lower horsepower car that's not seeing 130 mile an hour wheel speeds, it'll be fine or something. But on something like this that just has a ton of mechanical grip set up into it, they just don't work. They're not going to last. And it's kind of sad because these are super affordable tires. But, you know, and don't get me wrong, this is not shitting on Achilles by any means. You know, we're talking about the same brand that makes the 123S, which in my opinion is the best drift tire that there is. So these are not the 123S though. So I mean, if you have a lower horsepower car that maybe you're running not such crazy wheel speeds in, and you're not really concerned about pulling the most grip out of your car or putting the most grip into your car as you can, then maybe these will work for you. But for something like this, they just don't. And the only reason I bought them is because the Kendas were completely sold out and I could not get them in time, and I could get 16 of these in time for the event. So that's the whole reason why we ended up running these. And I still did run them after they chunked. Granted, they had absolutely no grip. And then 2 other things that I almost forgot that definitely need to be addressed. The wiper motor, because that stopped working. I never tested it after I put the dash back in. I remember I took the dash out to do something, and then I never tested the wiper again. So the wiper doesn't work. I need to fix that. I think that's just in the wiring. I think like one of the connectors got unplugged because I added this secondary toggle here for the wiper because I ran out of buttons on my switch panel, and I think the wire just came unhooked from the back of it. So I gotta fix that. And then I'm probably also going to look into putting a blower motor in the car for the windshield, because when this got caught in the rain, that window fogged up quick. And if we're out on track in the rain, we cannot have that. And while I'm at it, I'm probably going to redo this dash face here. I'd like to just do it out of a smooth, basically single sheet of carbon fiber or something like that. Clean, no switches on or anything like that. And then do a switch panel down underneath the dash, or like right over there in front of the fire extinguisher or something. Like a nice CAN bus style switch panel. Because I have had issues before with those toggle switches. They're just like spade terminals in the back of them. And I've had issues with those spade terminals popping off before or not being crimped very good. So a nice CAN bus switch panel with solid state relays in it goes a really long way. So I might look into doing that as well. But like I said, I mean, I don't want to get into dumping like another 10 grand into this car in the off season or anything like that. If we could keep it like under 3 grand to invest back into this in the off season, which I think we have plenty of time to do. Like I said, I still need to buy a trailer though. But you know, I think 3 grand can go a pretty long way on this, and then also save up money to stock up on those 180 treadwear Kenda tires. Maybe we'll do a bulk order of like 60 of those tires or something like that right at the beginning of the year, so I don't have to worry about struggling to get more tires. Aesthetically, everything on the car, I'm super happy with the aesthetics of the car. I think the car looks absolutely killer. I may do something with the rockers and change that up a bit. Not with the actual rocker panels themselves, but do like a rocker extension just for aesthetic styling. And I really like the way these wheels look on the car. I think they look awesome. I love the styling of them. The only thing I don't like about this style of wheel is you can see how far these spokes stick out past the wheel lip here. And the issue is I have so many wheels, and when I'm transporting them, I have to stack them. I have to have them sitting around. And what happens is they bump into stuff and they get nicked up on that part of the spoke really easily. Unfortunately, you can see it on this one too. I mean, yeah, I could send all the wheels out to get them powder coated if I wanted to, but even, I mean, with how much they bounce around and stuff like that, I feel like they'd still get damaged pretty easily. And that has nothing to do with the actual quality of the wheel. It's kind of just a cosmetic thing, which on a street car you really don't have to worry about unless you curb your wheels all the time. Then you'd be kind of screwed. But I don't know, it's just one of those things. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one. I just want to go through, cover all this stuff with you guys. You know, let you know where we're at with the car. We are done driving this car for the year. I know I said that last time, but I actually mean it now. We're done driving this car for the year. I'll put it away and start going through it and fixing the little things that need to be fixed. So I know a lot of you guys have been there since day one when I started this project, and now it's come full circle and it's finally actually done, proven, driven. And thank you to Nick Swan for giving me the opportunity to come drive Speed Ring after I totally botched my opportunity of driving Grid Life, and being able to prove the vehicle. And it's just awesome, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. So that's going to be it for this one. So like the video if you liked it. You guys got any questions, anything like that, leave them down in the comments, and maybe I can get around doing a Q&A, or I'll just pop down there and answer them in the comments section. But until the next one, I'll catch you guys later.